evening. I had to press 3 buttons at
What
once.
happened there?
I don't know, but we're in.
You said
Hopefully.
3, 2, 1, and then something went mad. What's going on, Tom?
I don't know, but we're back in
What's
the bar.
this? What's this about?
We're
Can't
back.
believe it. We are back. It's been a while.
Back by, I'd like to say popular demand. It's not. It's been silent.
It's
no
not
one's
popular.
No
No
one's
one's
said
bothered.
anything, have they?
No one's even watching it. Is
I
anyone
said,
watching?
I said
can't see.
episode Wednesday night at Finnegan's this week, and they said, "Oh yeah, you know, it's been on every week." Isn't it? I said, "No, we've not done it for 9 months. This is my
No
closest
one's
friends."
noticed. Hey, no one's noticed we've been missing for 9 months. Terrible.
It's good
Terrible,
to be back,
Thomas.
though, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, it sounds, yeah. It should be good. Got Jack in, sitting over there in his usual spot.
He's here.
You all right, Jack?
Yeah,
Yeah. Speak up loud.
it's help if I had a mic.
Yeah. He
No.
won't give you the mic, Jack.
We've
You're all right.
revoked Jack's mic privileges, and he's not even got the laptop tonight. So
No.
we've had to.
Got to ease him back in
He's
after
got to-
9 months.
He's got to earn it.
Been off for 9 months. Germany and everything. You know what I mean? So,
yeah.
what can you do?
And the only reason we're doing tonight is because you saw it as a scam to get people to buy you alcohol. That is essentially why we're here. We're all part of this elaborate scam of yours to
Cheers.
try.
What are
and-
we drinking, Tom? I'm drinking 0% Guinness. I'm drinking.
Very good.
Yeah.
I don't know what is
You're
this that
on
you gave
Sol.
me? There we
Yeah.
go. Sol.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Tell us what you're drinking at home.
Let us know.
Everyone else is on Sol in the room except me.
Alan's not able to see any of the comments.
I
just
can't
as
see
they're
a thing.
coming in, so
No, I can't.
he's
Sorry.
going to get you to interact the whole night, but it will be one way.
He'll have to tell you.
I'll
what's
read
going
them
on.
out for you.
No, it was by a priest a pint day, wasn't it?
It was.
Monday.
It
Thought
was.
it was Wednesday, but it was Monday.
And so you did what Christians always get in trouble for doing. You did essentially like a begging thing, didn't you? Where you're like, "Come on, give us your money."
No one
I
ever.
want, you know, said no one's bought me a pint.
No, what I said was, it's buy a priest a pint day,
Yeah.
and no one's bought me a pint because I'm off sick.
Yeah.
Someone should have bought you a pint.
Well, indeed.
And I did. I actually did. And then you just got off. You didn't, reciprocate it.
But you have had some people.
I have. We have.
Right, so who's bought you?
We've had Mandy bought us 3 pints.
Yeah.
Yeah, to share.
2 for me, 1 for you.
No, 1 for me, 1 for you, 1 for the guest. She didn't know Jack was going to be here. Unlucky, Mandy. and Tal bought us 3 pints.
Thank you, Tal.
Thank you, Tal.
Tal's
Yeah.
in tonight. She's watching.
Karen Parr, Keith Parr's wife, Keith from McGull.
I do.
He's down in London now. Karen, she sent us a picture of a pint, I think. It's not the same.
That's not the same.
It's not the same, Karen. I'm not having that. No, you can go on and buy us a pint if you want. That's just an excuse. You can't buy us a pint sending us a picture. We're not having that. I could send you a picture of £1,000,000, couldn't I? You know what I mean? It's no good. Send us a pint, will you? If you're going
Is
to
this
do
all
it,
of
do it.
your
What?
GoFundMe, this £1 million?
May as well be.
Where are the
Yeah.
GoFundMe
And,
millions?
Sharon sent us this, which we thought was a bottle of wine, which would have been against the rules, I reckon. What do you think?
Thank you, Sharon.
Yeah, thanks,
Look
Sharon.
at that. I mean, I hope you feel guilty about this.
What do you mean?
This poor woman's sent you. She
Sent
felt
us
like
3
you were
beers.
genuinely upset about that, and 3 beers. Look
I
at
wasn't
that.
genuinely upset. I was just saying, wasn't I?
That's a lovely
This
gift
looks
set,
nice.
that,
This-
isn't it?
this- yeah, it looks nice. This, like,
That's-
I want to lose the box. It's got 3 different beers in some.
That's fancy beer as well, isn't it? That's
It's sorcery.
pale ale. Pale ale. That's from down south.
Sorcery.
Oh,
Yeah,
I don't know if we can drink that as Christians, can we?
I can. I'm on the sick. Pure, 4 pure. You can have that one, 4 pure. That'll do you
Thank
with the
you.
message, won't it?
Very
You'll be
good.
all right with that. And Green Mountain. That's
Thank you,
what it is.
Sharon.
Thank you, Sharon.
Thank you very
Thank you,
much.
Sharon from St. Helens, apparently.
I think people need a little health update from you, Alan. Because we've not been on for 9 months, have we? So it'd be good to,
I'm still here.
you're still.
It was touch and go at the beginning, Tom. I'm on extra time at the moment, though.
Is it almost getting to the point where people are a little bit like, come on now?
I think it's
You
getting
had your time.
I think it's getting to the point where people are thinking, he's just scamming us for beer as well. As well as
Where's the
GoFundMe.
money gone?
Where's all the money? It's like the Arteta money, innit? Where's all the GoFundMe money gone?
People are like, we paid the money. We're expecting results.
Expecting results, yeah. We wanted some of it to go to the funeral. So,
How's Joyce? Is Joyce looking at you like thinking, come on now?
come
Al."
on now. I get 8 times your salary when you die. Hurry up, son. We want to get that villa in Spain.
You've prefer you're just looking at properties abroad. How are you feeling today, Al?
No, worldwide cruises it is. Oh, yeah, 49 nights. Yeah, that'll be okay.
ChristianConnect.com.
I bet you there is a Christian dating site.
There is
You'd know that, wouldn't you?
Well, I'm married, but I do.
Yeah,
know
but you would know that. This is John, by the way.
This is John, everyone. Good
Welcome,
to have John in
in
tonight.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Well,
Yeah,
could everyone say John a little hello? We're going to give him a proper introduction shortly, but do give us in all seriousness.
I'm here, aren't I? I'm
good,
all right.
isn't it?
I look all right, don't I? I don't even feel sick. I actually think they've got it wrong or something, you know. Every now and again I have this little tinge in me like, what if they've got it wrong? Know what I mean? Because, like, imagine putting me through this, the messes. You're going to die within 8 to 12 months, and then it's month 10 now, by the way. So
it's just like the biggest, most elaborate practical joke from Joyce. At some point, she's going to come out and be like, surprise!
April Fool! No, it's like...
For all those years you put me through.
The treatment must have done something, mustn't it?
Yeah.
So I've had 2 sets of treatments, and I got scans, and they were good. Apparently, they were all right. The tumours had shrunk in my liver. And
Amazing.
And it hadn't gone anywhere else at that point, and so I'm due to go in the end of this month now. So we're back now, but I'll be sick again in 2 weeks. So I don't know what's going to happen with this podcast. But so I've got to go back down to Southampton and spend more money on treatment that the NHS doesn't pay for. Thank you, NHS.
How much money have you raised on the GoFundMe? Because I thought nobody liked you. So this was a
thought
big
nobody liked
surprise to me, honestly.
It turns out that, like, my life's not bad enough. They want to keep me alive longer. I'm not miserable enough. They're keeping me alive longer.
Well,
you know what I mean?
Well, how much has it been? Because that's incredible.
About £136,000.
I mean, it's just incredible.
It is a bit mad.
isn't it?
It is a bit. Yeah, it is. It is.
And we talk about this, and
It's quite humbling, to be
Yeah.
honest. I know I'm joking now about dying and all that, but I'm getting used to being alive. It's a bit of a problem because I've sort of done some of my bucket list now.
You've ticked some of the things.
Yeah, I've ticked some of the things
What
off.
have you done?
Well, I met Klopp, didn't I? That was one.
I forgot that even happened.
Yeah, we've moved him. He's gone. We've had to get rid of him because he's not in my life
He's
anymore.
done now.
He's not
So-
in it. He's over there, standing
So
behind
you
John.
went to Liverpool, and so
Yeah.
it was you. You went to see all the footballers and that.
Yeah, Jürgen.
Jurgen, very
That was
good.
a good day.
Yeah.
That was a boss day, that.
I mean, that's an impressive one to tick off the bucket list, that isn't it?
Yeah. So, and I've had a few holidays, which I've always...
Nothing
Don't start.
changes.
Don't start.
Nothing changes with
You've
you.
been away all summer. You've literally been away all August.
Well,
Yeah, have you not? Have you not been away all August?
I had.
Yeah, have you been away
appropriate
all
amounts of
August?
holiday.
Have you been
Yeah,
away all August?
but I go on holiday with my children.
It's
hell.
That's your own fault.
They're watching this.
That's your
And
own fault.
They're telling them. It's like John. You will sympathise with this.
Massively.
Holidays with children.
It's not a holiday.
It's not a thing, is it?
No.
I think it's like running a kids club that you didn't want to go to.
You're acting like I
And you're
haven't
paying.
had kids and I haven't read the manual. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but
I've told you loads of times. Kids are horrible till they're about 25. They are the most ungrateful creatures on God's earth until they're about 25.
so tempted to
Especially when they get to your kids' age.
ask. I'm tempted to
I
ask
love
you,
your kids because they're not my kids.
what's the name of your grandson?
I'll be there for you.
John, I proper stitched him up.
I saw the reel.
You should see him with the baby, like holding the baby. It's like you say you've been a dad, but I'm like, what are you doing with that child?
What you're not understanding is in me head.
Yeah.
I've got a weird head, right? In me head, I'm thinking, shall I drop him?
I do know.
Shall I
do
just
that-
drop him?
What do you mean you do that too, John?
Not with your grandson, but
No.
no, I do. It's what would happen if I did. Like,
Wow.
because if someone gives you like even their phone or whatever, and you're like, if I drop this, like it's going to cost a lot,
Yeah.
but I probably could. Like you drop a baby, you can't go. I'll get you another one.
No.
Like it's done. So you're like, what?
You can.
What, me and my wife will make you another one. Same thing, innit?
There's loads.
Just
Madonna seems to cope.
Give us at least 9 months. But yeah, no, I worry though. It's not
Yeah.
that I think I will. I just worry. What if I did?
yeah.
Yeah. So I don't really want to hold the baby or
Yeah.
anything like that. I don't really want to hold them because, like, if you hurt them or something by mistake,
Yeah.
know what I mean? So,
Yeah,
kids.
I get it.
Yeah. So,
What are we doing tonight then?
I want people to write in what I should
That's
do
it.
on a bucket list.
So Alan has basically achieved his bucket list, and
Yeah.
he's still got 2 months to go.
Maximum.
So I think what the people want is for us to go to. They don't want it enough to give us any money.
No,
What the people
no,
want is for
no.
us to go to Minnesota
Yeah, that'd be good.
to fulfill your dream of
Yeah.
going to Finnegans
In Minnesota.
stateside.
Yeah. And you've got mates that live there.
I've got friends who live there, but
So
they've
we
seen
could-
this and they said under no circumstances do not bring him. So
I'm fuming now.
no, they don't. They're up for it. They're happy to have you.
You're lying to me
No,
now.
I promise you. I've talked about it
When have you talked to them?
recently.
When's recently?
In the
Look at
last
this.
12 months.
In the last 12 months.
I thought I better
Recently.
get a rush
That's
on.
not recent for me anymore.
That's it.
Recent is like yesterday.
I feel, yeah.
I don't get to make long-term plans anymore. I can't book holidays unless it's 2 weeks away. I can't get insured. I have to blag it that I've got insurance to go on holiday. Oh,
You're
it's
just
cracking.
admitting all these things.
I don't care who watches
So
this.
you want?
The insurance companies aren't watching this. I think Tui aren't on the end of that camera.
I'm making a reel
Yeah.
of that, and I am tagging Tui into it. I'm tagging- It might be the first time we get some views. I'm tagging all sorts into it. The police,
I have to walk slowly down the stairs on the cruise ship just in case I fall.
the benefit
Can't afford to
people.
break a
I'm
leg.
crossing you right up. Very good.
Oh,
Okay,
dear
well,
me.
give us a few bucket list options for Alan. Let's see.
Yeah, that would be good. Yeah.
Yeah, he needs a few extra ones.
And,
Sharon's in now. Thank you, Sharon, for those beers. We're impressed with those.
We are.
Much appreciated.
We've lost one.
No, I've got all three here.
You
Don't
got
worry.
you robbed all today. Look at this. The Tories took everything like usually. Hey, we'll just take all of that.
Here we go.
come
People,
on.
bucket list idea.
Yeah.
Tal says, why didn't you preach on Sunday for once?
I'm on the sick, Talto. You get the concept of that. I'm on the sick. I can't.
I think
Someone will blow me up.
this is what I was impressed with, right? Alan always says the job of a minister, why he went for it, why he always wanted to be a minister, because it means you just have to work 1 day a week.
Yeah.
But somehow he's found a way to game the system. He doesn't even do a day now. He doesn't even do 1 day. I mean, how? That's
I'm not well.
mind blowing.
I'm not well.
It's like Britain's Got Talent all
Hey,
over again. You
I'm
don't
not
stop
well.
going on about it.
Dear me. And you get a little bit of a sniffle, and it's like.
Oh, I tell you what, you are fair play to you. You are dealing with it so much better than I would. Oh my word. My wife, I've already realised I cannot. If I don't know what your wife Jade would be like, but I know if I'm gonna go, it has to be quick. Like hit by the bus, you know, like fatal heart attack. You know,
I think it might be Emma.
we wouldn't be surprised. You know, shot in the head. One of those options. Because she's already said she's not looking after me because she's honestly the look she gives me when I'm ill. She's like,
Yeah.
just die or get over it. That's what she get.
That's because they've never really had proper man flu, have they?
Well, that's it.
They can't. It's just a thing, innit? They can't get it.
How's Jade cope with you when you're ill, John? Do you make a fuss of it, or do you?
I think we're both quite similar to each other, as in, you know, you just can't do anything for each other.
Yeah,
So it's like you do care, but like, what can I do?
Yeah.
And I think we're both a little bit like that.
Yeah.
Like we do not compete, but I think like who's got flu the worst when you've got it.
yeah.
And then more, to be honest, like who's the one who's too sick to have the kids.
That's the big
That's
one.
the crux. Because I think
That is
otherwise
the
you'd
big
probably
one.
be quite sympathetic of each other if we didn't have kids.
Yeah.
You'd be like, oh yeah, it's horrible. Yeah, sorry
Yeah.
to hear that. Whereas when in the back of your mind you're like,
That's exactly.
sugar.
means
Does that-
I've got the
yeah,
kids
does that mean
all
I've
day?
got both of them? Does that mean I'm lone wolfing it while you're in bed all day? Suddenly you're like, yeah, but how bad is flu?
that is exactly what it
That
is.
is
It's the
it.
resentment of like all the things I'm gonna have to do now
Yeah.
because you
Yeah.
say you're ill.
You say you're not well.
Yeah.
I've got to do everything.
Yeah.
Well, that's it. Let's
It's
see.
your own fault for having
Someone's
kids.
saying here skydive.
Skydive. No, I don't want to do that. I'm not an adrenaline junkie. Do you know me? You know what I mean?
Here you
If you
go.
said to me, lie on a couch for 7 days, I could do that. But
Come to one
skydive-
of the church leaders meetings again.
Who's put that?
Emma.
Emma. I'm not going to lie to you. I hate church leaders' meetings.
Carla, evening Carla.
Evening, Carla.
Our
Councillor
local
Carla.
councillor.
Councillor Carla.
Carla, sort the bins out. They've not been collected in weeks. No, I'm only messing. Carla's brilliant. She's fantastic.
It's normally the weeds people moan about, Tom. The weeds and the dog.
Yeah, I've got that. No, Guinness factory in Dublin. That's what Carla says. That's a good suggestion. Very good.
Not bad. Not bad.
Very
I've
good.
been to Dublin, but I didn't do the Guinness thing.
Really?
Didn't go to the factory when I was there. Couldn't be bothered.
Okay.
Didn't think I was dying then, though. So, higher up my priorities now, Tom.
I thought you can get flights to Minnesota
Yeah.
from Dublin.
Oh.
So
So
two-
we go
two
to
for one.
Dublin. We do the Guinness factory.
We take both.
And then we fly over to Minnesota.
Yeah.
Hey, come here.
High fives. Thanks, Grandad.
I'm gonna. No wonder we stopped doing this, you know. Because me and him are going to fight at some point. And I can't see a thing, so we'll win.
Very
Yeah.
good. The only thing we should mention before we crack on and get chatting to, basically, a while ago, John, we applied for some fun competition, basically, for innovation. And you're, as a content creator, you are. Why did you just giggle like that?
I was just like, where's this going?
Yeah. We basically applied to the Baptist for some money, for a prize, for being innovative.
Nice.
Yeah.
And we got beaten, we got pipped to the post for £500 by these old people in Southport, I believe. £1,000, was it that much?
£1,000, yeah.
They basically, during lockdown, did digital photo frames. Do you remember those from the noughties, maybe even the 90s? And they put like SD cards in them and sent them to the old people.
Who still couldn't turn them on, so it was pointless.
We were live streaming on Switch.
we were on everything.
Twitch, I think. I actually think it's called Twitch.
Twitch.
Is that right?
Grandad.
And they didn't even give us second or third prize.
No.
So Alan, for the life of this podcast, been getting into them, calling them out.
Yeah,
Very good.
It's right.
And then what happens?
I applied for some money off them for equipment for this podcast, and they give us it. They give us it, John, right? And then I got sick, and we haven't done a podcast since. So this is just to fulfil the brief.
Yeah.
We're just going to put this out every Wednesday night for the next year.
They won't know because they're still on digital photo frames. They won't have a clue.
No, they won't. Someone will just say them. Oh, you see that podcast? Yeah, they'll be fine. So we want to say thank you, Baptist Insurance Company, for your generous donation towards this pod and making it happen. It has actually made it happen. Look, this is it.
And you can take this as our contractual obligations fulfilled. Don't you think? I think this is enough. Everyone's had enough now.
I think it is.
Right.
It's a comedy course. You didn't talk about your little cameo on a comedy course. I thought you were really good.
Very quickly then, I did a comedy course. Whatever.
Doesn't want to talk about nothing about himself. I said to him, let's talk about your job. He said,
I'm happy.
no, don't talk about my job.
People are bored with me.
You're doing me head.
Right, comedy course. I was doing a fundraiser for my role.
Yeah.
So
Which role?
So I worked,
Which role's this?
I'll tell you.
Which job's this?
So basically, Alan binned me off from the church. Used to get employed by the church, sacked me. So I had to go and find another job. So thankfully, the Lord provides.
Oh,
now I work for the Message Trust, and I'm doing.
Somehow we made it about him. Go on.
And started a new project called Proximity, supporting churches on estates.
Yes.
Often churches on estates don't.
What's the
they're not there.
website?
They don't flourish.
Proximityhub.org.
Proximity. So it's fantastic. It's the best job I've ever had. Best colleagues. Honestly, it's like a breath of fresh air. I had a really triggering experience in my previous job. It was hard, and now I've found freedom. So. And so that's my new job. So I was doing a fundraiser to raise money for the charity, and I was doing a comedy course.
No wonder you made
6 weeks. 6 weeks later, I did comedy that night. Alan was also on. Unanimously, they said I was the best of the night.
You was? You was?
6 weeks.
He was.
Nice.
He was good. He was very good.
So
yeah. I'd like to see you in a Liverpool comedy club doing the same material. We'll see what happens then.
They love me in Liverpool. The accent. Can't get enough of it.
Uncle Rishi. Yeah.
So, anyway, let's give a proper welcome to our guest, Mr. I'm trying to find my applause. It's not on screen 2. On screen 3. Here we go. It's on screen 4. John Reynolds. John.
How you doing?
Thank you so much for coming on this tonight.
Our pleasure. Thanks for having me. Loving it.
So sincere. So tell us a little bit about yourself, John. Why don't you introduce yourself to the people?
Yes, I'm into the mic probably.
Yeah, that helps. I thought you were a content creator. This is your bread
Just
and
all on
butter.
my phone now. So yeah, I'm John Reynolds, and I probably spent 10, 12 years of my life doing youth work as a youth pastor. And then a couple of years ago, just started telling silly stories on social media, and a few of them started doing quite well. And then I guess I just kept doing it, and now that's my job instead. Is a quick way of
Wow, that's amazing.
We'll get onto that, won't we?
You've actually done what Alan tried with the Britain's Got Talent thing. He was desperate to try, and he thought, "This is my big break."
No one wants me on stage though. People just want to watch
No
me
one
from
wants
their
me on
house.
stage, John. Don't worry about it. Honestly, you get used to it. It's a first, but after a while, it's just who cares?
Very good. And I was saying before we came on, I did get the algorithm through your stuff at me, and
Yeah.
I did like it.
Good, thanks.
Found it very funny.
That wasn't what you said when he
I
wasn't
did
here.
like one of them.
You were saying, is he going to turn up?
Well, I knew he might.
Where
have
is he? You were saying.
Oh, what
So
was
he's
I
on his
saying?
way?
He was bang on time.
Yeah, I did all right actually
He did.
for me.
And the one I saw was of the first one I saw, which again, this is where I think Alan is probably going to begrudge you a little bit, because the first one I saw was of you and your wife on a cruise, and it felt like the cruise was probably free of charge for you because you were doing a brand type deal thing. Was that right?
That's probably the best kind of freebie we've ever got. Every now and then I get like a little turmeric drink or something through, and you're like, it's all right, it's a shot or whatever, and it's like supposed to be good for you. And you're like, great, cool. But yeah, that was really good. Like, they were just doing like I think they were trying to promote it to people under the age of like 80, basically. Like, I feel like in my head, cruises were like for older people.
Yeah, I think they are.
And then but it was really nice. Had a lovely time. We did bingo and all sorts.
Yeah.
It was really good. And it was definitely the best sort of freebie we've got, and it was fun.
The video I saw, which was very funny, was of your wife's called Jade.
Yeah.
She's a wheelchair user, and you were showing off the facility, the awesome ramp onto the balcony on the boat, and you wheeled her out there.
Yeah.
Just picked up the ramp.
Yeah.
Closed the door. Just left her out there.
Yeah. She didn't enjoy that. But I said the sea air, it's good for your skin. Right.
How long was she out there for, John?
Yeah, she's I'm gonna pick her up in a minute. Yeah, no, she's yeah. We find those kind of ones don't go down quite well, actually. Like, I think people enjoy, similar to like I think you guys at the start. Even people will like it when you don't wallow in what you're going through, and you're able to show a kind of there's more to like life than letting life get you down, I guess, and stuff. So yeah, those ones tend to go.
Well, that's
quite well.
easy for him, isn't it?
Yeah.
He gets to get rid of me. Stop nagging in his ear. Sorry, go on.
Oh, I'm sad now.
Oh, shut up.
It's okay when I joke about it. When you joke about it, it's a little
Sorry, John.
No, but like, I think, those kind of videos people quite like, and I think, although it's a mixed bag, I say that most people get it. Most people are like, she must be in on it.
Who doesn't get it?
You'd be surprised. Like, you'll find like if a video, I've realised now, and not all the videos obviously do super well, but if you do get one that gets like 1 million views, if 1% of people are idiots, that's 10,000 idiots.
Yeah.
Do you know what I
Wow.
mean? So you do realise suddenly like, oh flip, there's quite a lot of people out there that either struggle to understand it intentionally, just like a moan or whatever. And you do get some people like, I did one with her where there was a couple, we started watching a video basically, and I was like, oh, watch this. And it was a couple, the female was in like almost like the press up position, and the bloke was holding her legs, and then he flicked her up like that, and she spins over and lands it like a front flip. And then I cut back to Jade and I just from the shoulders up, and I was like, we should do that. And she was like, don't be ridiculous. And I went, you're so boring, and got up and walked away. And then the big reveal is, oh, she's in a wheelchair. And she just shrugged. She's just like smiling in the background. Obviously she's in on it. It got so many people being like, you could see the heartbreak in her eyes. Like, I hope she leaves him or whatever. And you're like, you know that like, for us, we're watching it and then I just press record.
Yeah.
Like, we're not actually still watching it. Like, I've got to go off of that video and then feel like, but people, you do get people who just love a moan.
Wow.
But no, most people do enjoy them, which is good.
But you don't mind that either because it's all money for you, eh?
Exactly. Right, exactly. I'm just hate baiting people now.
Yeah, the more they moan, the more there's engagement with you, the more the algorithm pushes it up.
I said that to somebody today who was just going back and forth in the comments with me and stuff, and I was just like, it all helps me.
Yeah.
Like, keep on going.
Keep going. Keep going.
Yeah. If you hate my
Dollar
videos that
signs.
much, I don't mind if you hate my videos. Just make sure you comment that on them.
Yeah, that's it. Very good. And you've got over a million.
Yeah.
Over 1 million followers across all your platforms. So we got off to a good start with the Finnegans YouTube.
Yeah.
So we were steady growth.
We had about 30.
30. So steady.
Not million.
And then suddenly one day I woke up, my phone was going crazy. And I thought, this is the moment. Like new subscriber. So it's brilliant. Over 1,000 in 10 minutes, I'd say.
Nice.
Yeah. So I thought, this is the moment we've all been waiting
What have
for.
we done?
We're going to get to, graduate from ministry and go into content creation.
TikTok, eh?
Yeah. Turns out someone had
That's what it's called.
hacked up our YouTube and they'd put up like a dodgy video. And so that was what happened there.
I nearly said to you, what was the video? And one of the number one rules is just replicate it. But now maybe not.
I did leave it up there for a while. I was trying to...
Get us up to 2,000.
And the amazing thing is those followers have never left us. So
No,
they're
they
with
haven't.
us
That's the thing.
now. They're with us forever.
Yeah,
They're still
that's
with
the
us.
thing. And they're like, you get the odd comment like, I didn't even know I was following you guys.
Yeah.
But-
And this was not what I was expecting.
I think the next one we did it. We said, well, hello, and welcome to our new followers. We've probably got more clothes on than you expected. We did, didn't we?
We did.
So,
Very good.
Where are you from originally?
So I grew up in Kent, like Tunbridge Wells kind of area, and now I'm up in Preston. I lived in the town where nobody knows the town. It's called Pembury, unless you're from there, because it's where everyone's born. As in, there's a hospital there, not just on the side of the road. Everyone's 9 months as they're coming through. But to be honest, controversial. I'm going to say, other than the weather, I prefer it up north.
Do you know what? I do prefer it up north.
Yeah.
It is better.
Yeah. I'd even say the weather is... There's even a caveat with that. Because, there's definitely more rain in Preston than there was, in Tunbridge Wells, definitely. But when it's 28, 29 degrees in the summer, like those sort of 4 or 5 days that you get in Preston that's hot, when I look in London, it's 36 or whatever, and I'm like, this is still nicer.
Yeah.
So, and the people, even though the weather's not warmer, the people are a lot warmer up north, I'd say. People do
Cheaper
actually
as well, isn't it?
Yeah.
That
Life's
helps.
just cheaper,
We could
isn't
actually
it?
afford a house, yeah.
Yeah, it's just cheaper. Everything's cheaper. It's better.
Yeah.
Well better than your Tory paradise down
That's
there.
it. I know.
Aye, Tunbridge Wells.
Royal Tunbridge
Yeah,
Wells.
sorry. and if you want to know, he does say nougat. Okay, we're not even going to go there. He
do.
just says it. Yeah,
I do, yeah.
He does. He says he's not a Tory though.
You don't say that up here, do you?
What? That you're a Tory?
I'm still training my dad. He says it's just I can tell people. It's just an exchange of ideas. I'm like,
Your dad
you
lives in
cannot tell
Kirby.
people. Dad.
Your dad lives in Kirby. If he tells anyone who's a Tory in
I know.
Kirby, his house will get burnt out.
I'll be-
I'm not even messing. I'm not messing, John. His house will get burnt out. I swear. They'll hunt him down, and he'll be the Wicker Man on his lawn. I'm telling you.
It's possible.
Don't do it, Tim. Just say you vote Lib Dem. You'll be all right. They'll just think you're irrelevant. It's fine.
John,
Sorry.
tell us about.
I want to know what football team he's
Oh,
supporting.
go on.
I think he might. I'm not sure. I think I know, but I'm not. I couldn't.
I'm Spurs. Yeah.
Arsenal.
Spurs.
Yeah, I mean, I glean that. It's just not much to talk about, is there, with Spurs?
I don't know.
Like,
I was quite excited when you got Solanke.
Yeah, I mean, the thing
Got
is,
injured, but
we played good stuff.
yeah.
The first 3 games, we've played well enough to win all of them, but we've got a win, a loss, and a draw. So.
It's a bit for me. It's a bit Kloppish when he first come.
Yeah.
Where it's we'll just score more than you. We'll just
that's
attack.
what we need to do.
And we don't care how many you put
yeah.
there. We're going to score more.
And
than
that
you.
is what we need to do, definitely.
And it's exciting.
Yeah.
I think.
I'd rather that than when we had Mourinho or Conte and stuff.
Yeah.
I like Ange. Like,
Yeah.
Is he Australian? Is he?
Yeah, he is,
yeah, we just got to win something soon.
He must know Charlie, mustn't he?
He must. Chazza's coming
Chazza,
back.
yeah.
He messaged me.
Is he?
He's waking up. We've got Chazza in Australia. He's one of our mates, and he said he was going to watch it this morning, but I don't think he's in.
You wake up with determination, whatever it is. Go to bed with whatever.
Oh dear.
Who knows what he's
Here we-
into? So Spurs fan.
Yeah.
Okay. And
Yeah.
what's your favourite show on Netflix?
I don't know if it's on.
Other platforms are available, obviously.
Yeah, this isn't very Christian, but
Doesn't matter.
we really
Have you not noticed where we are?
we really like The Boys.
Boys,
So it's a superhero.
people have told me to
thing.
watch that, and I haven't.
It's very good. It's quite gory in places, and
Okay.
there's definitely a few scenes where you're like, whoa. But I would say it's like Marvel if Marvel was like realistic, no, I don't mean like people can't fly anymore. I mean like morally. So like if you actually had the power to do whatever,
Yeah.
like in real life that people
wouldn't.
you just get corrupted. You're not
Yeah.
like, I'm just going to be a friendly neighborhood Spider-Man or whatever. You would be like shooting webs at people if they're just annoying you.
Just for a laugh.
Yeah, or just having accidents, or it's very good. I would say they're all sort of anti-heroes. They've got that ability to be good, but equally they often
A few people have said to me I should watch it.
Yeah,
And I haven't up to now.
I definitely recommend. I'd say I love shows where it's like you haven't got your good guys and your bad guys necessarily. Like there's always some people who are a bit better than others, but I think it's more realistic when everyone has that. They're quite good.
There's a little bit of bad in them as well.
Yeah, well, I think it's just true of all of us, isn't it?
Yeah,
Like that line that separates good and evil, like runs down the middle of all of us, kind of quote. Like it's not this group of people are good and this group of people are bad, because I think it's just more relatable. So yeah, the Boys is very good for that. Just started watching Rings of Power season 2, so Lord of the Rings. It's been getting quite a lot of like negative stuff, but we quite like it. It's been quite good. So,
yeah. Can I pick up on a serious point off that?
Go on.
Will you let me?
Yeah.
It's because going through what I'm going through, where you get told you're dying,
yeah,
I've found that duality in my brain.
yeah,
Right. So there's the kinds of like what I should think
yeah,
from a theological point of view,
Yeah.
and I do think, and there's the what I do think as well, but it's kind of opposites. If you get what I mean. So it's quite a mad position sometimes.
Yeah.
And some days one of them wins.
yeah.
Do you get what I mean?
Yeah, definitely.
And so it's not like I'm all this like, oh, I'm all down one line. There's this battle in your head.
Yeah.
Because it is in your head, most of it. You know, everyone's got that voice that speaks to them, or is that just me? Am I just crazy?
No, definitely. Yeah.
But you have an inner voice, don't you?
Yeah.
And you know what, not what you're supposed to believe. You know what you believe in terms of faith and that. But also your head speaks to you as well.
Yeah.
And almost tells you the opposite stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's a battle to then remind yourself of what faith tells us and what we can stand on it with faith, if you get what I mean. And that's probably been the hardest bit for the last 9 months.
Yeah.
Is that. So when you're saying about them having this potential for bad and good,
Yeah.
I kind of get it, but in a different way.
Do you find like, because I think as well, when people would say like, if you were told you had a day to live, like what would you do? And like, when people are like, so I don't know if you've seen the concept. I've never seen the film, but like the concept of the purge, where you've just got one day and you can do anything. Like, and that almost like, would you just rob a shop just to see what it's like, or would you just like whack someone, like maybe you've never got in a fight in your life and just like, I just want to know what it feels like, just punch someone in the face? Like, do you ever feel
You're giving him ideas now, John.
I want to say someone, like maybe a co-host called, I want to say Tom. But like, do you ever, because not that you want to abuse the situation you're in, but that also people would be like, well, he is going through a tough time. Do you know what I mean? Do you ever feel like you just
Someone said to me not long ago,
yeah.
do you want some cocaine?
Yeah, Tom asked me that actually before I came on. Said, you're looking tired.
And they were like, you may as well give it a go, see what it's like.
Yeah. How was it?
How was it, yeah? I haven't tried it yet. I haven't got that desperate yet. But no, you get...
If I could have guessed where we would go tonight,
We wouldn't have gone here.
We
I'm
knew,
sorry.
I don't know.
You knew.
I'm sorry.
40 minutes in, we'd be chatting
we'd-
class A.
Yeah, I knew we'd get there. I just thought it would take an hour. I just,
No, I was. It reminds me when he talked about the boys having these two things of what's going on in my head.
yeah.
Yeah.
Because you don't get many places to say it, do you? But we're just in the bar with our mates and we're having a chat. Men, it's good to talk. Men don't talk
is
enough,
good to
Tom.
talk.
We don't talk enough, apparently, about our feelings. Our feelings, son.
Feeling me.
But I think some people do. What puts you off though is thinking the long-term repercussions. Like sometimes it can be your faith as well, because you want to, I guess, honor God, and also not that you're saved by doing good stuff, but you want to keep doing good stuff, like rather than just go off the rails at the end and be like, oh. But equally, I think sometimes you're like, okay, yeah, but if I do something that 10 years down the line has massive repercussions. So that's almost why I wondered, like, is there sometimes in your head of like, what's the worst that can happen though if I did that? Even though you know it's not a good idea, like, and it doesn't align with your faith even.
I mean, no, it does make you think mad stuff.
Yeah.
It does. It really does. It kind of like, because someone said to me the other day, and she's watching, like, so she'll be in a minute kicking me head in. But they said something, and I went, what's she going to do? She's not going to divorce me now, is she? She's not going to cash out now, is she? Hey, it's a bit late in the game. You know what I mean? She's got too much to lose now, hasn't she? What's the worst she's going to do? Not talk to me? I like that. It's fun.
I mean, Alan used to be what we did one of those tests, personality tests, and Alan came up as like harmonizer. That's gone.
Yeah.
That's gone now.
Yeah.
He's not fussed about that so much
But I do
anymore.
wonder that, like,
No,
because I get like my version of that would just be like tired, as in like, so I'm definitely like massive peacemaker. I hate the idea of people being upset, but then when I get to like the end of myself, I'm just tired. It's almost like that all drops. I don't care anymore. Like, and I'm more likely to say something that's even more shocking coming from me, because normally I'm like,
You're normally,
well,
mate. Yeah,
do you know what I mean? Are we definitely sure Hitler was a bad guy? Do you know what I mean? I'm more likely to be like that, where it's like, well, come on, like. Whereas then when I'm tired, do you know, I'd say it about anybody, and it's like, so yeah, I wonder if you do have that, like, I'm gonna say actually what I think rather than what I think I should say.
No, I still think I'm holding back, John.
No, fair play.
No, I am still holding back. I think
Yeah.
I really still do try to hold back.
Yeah.
But I'm definitely getting less bothered about what I say and do or think, because I think, well, you know what I mean. But I'm definitely still holding back.
It's also
I'm definitely still trying to be nice.
Yeah, and it's not always a bad thing either, as well, because as in I guess sometimes when I can be like, there's a difference between being a peacemaker and a people pleaser, isn't there?
Yeah.
Like, peacemaker is a good thing where actually sometimes it is about having it out, so you can finally get to that place of being like, actually, we are in genuine harmony. And like being a people pleaser where you just say yes because you don't want to upset anyone, but further down the line that's an issue. So like, it's not always a bad thing necessarily. I just wondered if sometimes you're like, nah, actually, I'm calling this as I see it. Like, just even if people get upset.
Yeah, I don't think I've gone fully. I've gone worse than I used to be.
Yeah.
So I do times less, if you get what I mean.
Yeah.
So I think, so what?
Yeah,
kind of thing. So I don't think long term anymore.
Yeah.
As I just said, 2 weeks for the holiday or something like that.
Yeah.
I don't think long term. So I'm not really thinking long term about keeping things good.
Yeah.
If you get what I mean. I don't really care.
Yeah.
In some ways. And because I mean, this has gone pretty deep off the back of watching The Boys off Netflix, hasn't it? Because like, I would say I think about dying every day. So that's like not the happiest thoughts, is it?
Yeah,
You know what I mean? You know Steve Legg, don't you?
Yeah.
And he's really not well at the moment.
He could do with you could do with people's prayers, can he? If you're a praying type, I think he's really struggling at the moment, isn't he, Steve?
And but when I got the news of that, it hit me weirdly.
Yeah.
Because we sort of got sick at the same time. And like it hit me weirdly, and I was like, yeah, weird. So, but anyway, Netflix boss, isn't it? I don't mind Apple TV myself.
Now's the time to slap one
slow
off.
horses, you know what I mean? No, now's the time to get a Fire Stick, John, and don't pay any subscription fees. Just get one of them dodgy boxes instead. 60 quid a year, it's laughing.
Mrs. ends up locked up.
Yeah, she gets locked up. Make sure I take the VPN off when I've only got 3 weeks to go.
Very good. Where are we going now?
We're asking about his faith.
Now we've ticked off the dodgy box. Go on, tell us, how did you come to faith, John?
Yeah, so I wasn't a Christian until I was about 17, 18. And I remember going along to a youth group that was kind of half, it was in the church, but it was kind of in like a church hall. It was half run by the council, half run by like the church. But I didn't really even realise that at the time until sort of a bit later on. And I thought they were all just like county council, like youth workers or whatever. I just got chatting to one of the guys, a guy called Wayne, who he's about 5 years older than me. 10 years older than me. And I can't remember how it even came up, but he then spoke about the fact that he was like working like in this building and stuff. And I was like, what, at the church? And he was like, yeah, I'm the pastor. And so I was 17 at the time and he was 27. And I was like, what do you mean? He was like, well, it's like a bit like a vicar. And I was like, you're the vicar? Like, because in my head, everyone was at least 75, like, who was a vicar. Like, just, yeah, it's just my perception of it, I think. Like, I was at a C of E school and, like, it was, yeah, we had to go to church for, like, Christmas and Easter, that kind of stuff. It was all a bit, and it was fine, but I think that sparked a few thoughts in me of, like, okay, not everyone is, like, Doc Cotton or, like, Ned Flanders or whatever. Like, not everyone is like that. If this guy is 27 and not only is he a Christian, he was a quite very normal, down to earth, cool guy as well. Not only is he a Christian, but also he flipping works for the church. Then maybe like there's more to it. So I just remember asking him like really like kind of probably like quite smart ass questions like why didn't all the animals on Noah's Ark attack each other, or even things that now I'm like it doesn't even matter, like is hell endothermic or exothermic? Like, does it give off heat? And you just
I don't even know what that means.
Yeah, and I can't even remember which is which now. I think I was probably doing science or something at school. But like, again, like, as if it matters, as if it's like, haha, yeah, there's no God
this
now.
Is it.
Like, who cares?
I've done it.
Yeah, exactly. Endothermic, well, that means your Bible's false. Like, who cares? So, but I remember saying to him, like, quite vividly as well, and this might say more about my ego than about the transcendent, maybe, but I just remember saying, like, I feel like I'm here for a reason. Like, I feel like my life matters and I'm supposed to do something with it. And I know, I guess, deep down that I can't really have that without God. Like, if it is just all random, then, like, randomless processes can't produce valuable human beings. It's all just totally random and meaningless. And I don't believe that. But I also don't think I believe in God, or I'm definitely not sure if there's a God. And so I was like, so I said to him, basically, I know that I kind of hold both those things at the same time. And he just invited me to church, and we were watching like this DVD series at the time. It was just testimonies, basically. I think it's called Journeys, and it was just people. There's a guy, you might have seen it, stung by a box jellyfish and had visions of heaven. Yeah. There was someone else who'd started a gym when he'd become a Christian and was helping people who maybe weren't your typical churchgoers become Christians. And I remember just saying, if there is a God, I want to see the candle on the. So I was at church and we were watching these DVDs. It was like a cafe-style church, which basically just meant a crescent of chairs, a little IKEA table, and like cans of Coke and like cakes and stuff. A little candle
like
on
the worst cafe in the world.
Yeah, exactly. Like a cafe. And
cafe would have gone bust. Yeah. Type of thing.
Like a cafe in a museum in my mind and stuff. Like it was just a bit weird. Like, and I remember people saying to me, you can't test God, but you can ask for a sign, something like that. And I remember thinking, I don't know what's the difference. Like, so I didn't know whether this was testing him or asking him for a sign or what. But there was a candle on the table, and I was like, I just want to see that candle blow out before the end of the service. And I remember, like, a bit like when you're waiting for a text, like you're watching telly, but like you think your phone's. But I just remember like looking at the candle a bit like that, like watching the video, but then I kept looking down, like, because I knew that by this stage I really wanted there to be a God. And I was like, if there is a God, if he can make someone come back from the dead and make people walk on water, he can blow out a candle. It's easy. Like, and I remember watching the whole service and it just didn't go out. And I got to the end of the service and went to leave. And I remember as I got to the door, I was like, oh, the candle. And just as I was about to leave, I looked back and I saw someone cleaning the tables, and a bloke picked it up and blew it out. And I was like, nah, that doesn't count. Yeah, I know I didn't stipulate. I know I said I just want to see it blow out, but that doesn't count. And basically, like, long story short, a year ago on that exact day, it was in April, and it's my friend's birthday, and it snowed on their birthday. Like, my birthday's April as well, and it's either like, it seems like it's either 20-degree heat or it's like snowing sometimes. April's just weird. a year ago it snowed on their birthday. Then we'd had the year of the candle moment. It was like really hot. It was like t-shirt and shorts. And I remember saying to my friend, remember last year when it snowed on your birthday? Now today it's like blazing hot. Oh, April, eh? Because I was a good conversationalist even then. And like, we were chatting like, that is weird. Like, and then went to church. The whole candle thing happened. I was laying in bed that night and I was like, that is weird. Like, people have told me God's got a sense of humor, and like that if that's true, then what? It's weird that I look back at the exact moment of the candle. Like, I did see it. Maybe God has got a sense of humor. Like, but then I was like, I don't know if that counts. Like, I'm not sure if I'm having that. And I don't know why. Similarly, I don't know why I looked back when I got to the door as I was about to leave and looked back at the candle. I don't know why I pulled my curtains open, but I was laying in bed. It's like 11 o'clock, midnight, whatever. And as I pulled back the curtains, it was just snowing outside. And I remember genuinely being like afraid almost in that moment. I was like, what? Like, I've literally joked with my friend earlier today. It's been like 23 degrees or whatever. Like, imagine it snowing today. Like, so weird last year. And now it is. And like, I honestly felt in that moment where I'd said about like, well, maybe God's got a sense of humor. I felt like in that moment, it's like, yeah, the candle could have been coincidence, but like, how are you going to like overlook this? Like, I'm in charge of everything. And it was genuinely one of those moments. And for some people, I've told that story before, and like some friends are like, well, it's just weather, mate, and stuff. Like, and that's fine. Like, but I think in that moment, it did feel like that. You know, like there's a bit in the Bible where Jesus calms a storm, and the disciples are like, what kind of man is this? Like, even the wind and the waves obey him. And you are like, you know, once you've been a Christian a while, like those stories just become a bit like, they can easily become cliche, but you know, if you put yourself in that position and someone just got up, like you're in a boat with your mate, even if you thought he was amazing and he just went, shh, and like suddenly it was like a storm just stopped, you would pat your shants. You would be like, what the hell has just happened? What the heaven? Like, what has just happened? Like, and it was a bit like that for me. Like, so I think from that, like, it suddenly opened up where I was suddenly like, I think there is a God, and just praying more. And the more I prayed, the more things happened, going along to church and things, and realizing that actually people weren't weird there. Most people were actually really normal, a good laugh, and just a lot lovelier than I was. Like, and yeah, it kind of just went from there really. And then I ended up working for the church as an intern for a couple of years, going off and studying at Bible college, and then like being a youth pastor for a bit myself.
Wow.
But yeah, it was kind of, that's probably the big moment for me.
I mean, and I guess, you know, as big as the moment was significant for you, the fact that it meant that you reordered your life decisions is like the bigger bit, isn't it?
That's the bit.
That like, if people can't,
because now we'd just be thinking our phones listening to us, wasn't it?
Yeah, Siri again.
Apple blew the candle out. Go on.
Yeah, but for you, that reordering of your life, it was so compelling. That set of circumstances, and then what has followed on, that, you know, like even the fact you've moved up north or whatnot, that was all stuff that's motivated by then this decision to follow God.
Yeah. And I think like time and time again, just God's like provision. Like every time I've been made redundant a couple of times, like just it feels like.
So was Tom.
My mum used to say to me,
still stings.
I remember working for the church, and my mum saying to me, "You've just got to go out and get out there." Like it was a like free roll basically. I got a little bit of money, but she was like, "A job's not just going to land on your lap." And I remember like 2 hours later, my mate calling me and being like, "You know the school just down the road from you? Do you want to do a bit of football coaching there?" And I was like, "Yeah, nice." And so I feel like time and time again, there have just been moments where either I feel I've messed up and God has still smoothed it out in a way that you're like, "I don't deserve that," like, or I've needed his help and he's just provided. And yeah, there are times where the journey's painful and everything else. It's not, there's always tough times as well, but like there's definitely been enough stuff, I think, to continually be able to be like, yeah, I think I can't think of a moment if I wait long enough where I can think of any promise God gives in the Bible that hasn't been true for me. Do you know what I mean? Most of the time, whenever I'm annoyed at God, it's like a confusion about what actually he promises. Do you know what I mean?
Interesting.
Like, I end up being, and my wife talks about that a little bit as well, like being a wheelchair user, like when people ask her, like, why has this happened to you? Like, she's like, well, why wouldn't it? Like, God never promised. There's no bit in the Bible, I've looked through all of it, there's no bit in there that ever says, like, Jade's not going to come paralysed age 12. Like, it doesn't say it. Like, and so I think, like, C.S. Lewis says, it's a great quote, like, I never doubt how good God is. Sometimes I just wonder how hard good will be. And I'm like, oh, that's good. Because, like, there are times where you
He's audible at C.S. Lewis, isn't he?
It's
just
too
dead clever, isn't he?
So
Too
clever.
So good
So
at everything.
clever.
Annoyingly clever.
Annoying.
Not just a deep concept, but just explaining it simply. As
Simple.
well.
Yeah, so that
Right.
Alan can understand it.
The education's not the same up north, you know.
It's
You
amazing.
got taught phonetics or something like that, how to spell. Thought of was OV until I was 13. And then I got told it was OF. You know, but that was off. Why'd you put another F on the end of off? What's going on? Anyway, that's
You've
an
still
aside.
not quite figured that one out.
No, I haven't. I've got issues.
Go on, tell us C.S. Lewis.
Yeah. So
Sorry.
just saying that, like, I'll never doubt God's good. I just wonder sometimes how hard good it's going to be. And I think, just really, really helpful because I think, like, my wife, sees that in her life as well, and things. And so, I think that's the challenge for people, isn't it? Like, it's one of the big ones. Like, if God is real and God is good, like, why do bad stuff happen? But I think, again, like, the closer you look at God's promises, like, I mean, Jesus literally says that. Literally says, like, in this life we will have trouble. Like, literally. So actually, if that's one of God's promises, it's a bit weird when we buy into the idea that, I don't know, it's going to be the American dream or just nothing bad's going to happen to us.
I was watching some of the doing a bit of research for tonight, as I try to do, and I was watching a couple of the reels with your wife, and she was talking about that becoming paralyzed at age 12, and then she was saying how for her, some people, she gets people who find it a bit incredulous, like a bit that she would still have faith, that they find the struggle like, well, if that happened to me. So how you hinted a little bit about how she's processed that journey. Do you mind saying a little bit more on that?
No, definitely. Like, I think for her, like, she would say, so, I mean, we've actually, a little cheeky little plug. We've written a book that talks about it a bit within there. Like, it's for anybody, but we've written a book called Able to Laugh. And in that, it's kind of, we've used a lot of, like, the most frequently asked questions we get on TikTok, like, why is your wife in a wheelchair? Will she ever walk again? Was she disabled when you met? How have you had kids? Like, all those kind of things. And you always use each of them as a chapter to tell Jade's life, but also to answer, like, their questions. And I think that one of those is, like, if God is, like, if you're a Christian, why has God let this happen? So it's not a really preachy book. It's not written for Christians, but in the same way that Jade couldn't talk about all she's been through without talking about a sense of humour, like the other thing, other than that sense of humour in her family, probably, that's helped her has been her faith. And a lot of it is she would say, like, again, just God never promises I won't go through this stuff. But I think for her, I guess it goes back to, like, what even is bad if there isn't God? Like, if God hasn't made us in a certain way, like, so, like, to some extent, I think it's more miraculous that things don't go wrong with more people more of the time. When you think, like, how complex our bodies are, like, and this, like, even like really silly things, like, I remember burning my shoulders on holiday when I was about 15, like the last day of like our holiday in Fuerteventura, like, they literally blistered. It was, like, awful, like, it was grim. There was, like, egg yolk. It was so gross, like. And if you had to ask somebody, how often do you reckon people touch your shoulders a day, like, what would you guys say? Like, 2? It's about 30 times. Like, the second, like, something goes wrong with you, you're suddenly like, oh my gosh, like, the amount of times people are like, what are you doing, mate? Or, like, put their arms around your shoulder. And I think we take a lot for granted, basically, like, with that kind of stuff, like. And health, we've probably all had moments where, even like when I broke my leg, I was 17 when I broke my leg on crutches for about 6 months, took a while to heal. And I remember thinking, I'll never, ever take for granted just being able to, like, run again and play football.
Just be able to itch me shin.
Literally. Just be, reach my ankle and stuff, like, and the cast came all the way up to, like, the top of my thigh as well. So even, like, just sit on the loo without being, like, side saddle and stuff like. So I never take it for granted again. And then literally 2 months later, you're like, you just don't even think about it.
Yeah.
And so I think some of it is, like, the lack of gratitude and the lack of being aware. And I mean, we've already touched on it, obviously, like, how finite, like, life is and how precious it is. I think sometimes you can live life like, oh, I don't need God, or I don't need this, or I don't need that, because, do you know what I mean? Even as a kid, I remember being about 10 and thinking, I don't think, like, seeing my uncle at a party, and he wasn't hammered by any means, but he was acting a bit sillier than normal. And I remember thinking, I just don't buy that. Like, I don't think alcohol, I don't think that'd work on me. Do you know what I mean? I just don't think that's and until you then have it.
Yes, officer.
Yeah. Yeah. But like, I don't think that's a thing. Like, and I think it's the same with like lots of things. You just think like, oh, that'll never happen to me. Like, until you go through stuff that then forces you to think about, like, is there any purpose or meaning to this stuff? And that's not like the whole scaremongering, like turn or burn or anything like that. But I think it's still an important thing to think about sometimes. Like, and I think, I think both for Jade and I would probably say that. And I think again it's C.S. Lewis, like, but says like, even if, I think it's in one of the Narnia books, like even if Aslan isn't there or whatever, I'm still going to live my life as if he is, something like that, like as a reference to God. I still think it's the best way to live. I still think like there's something about living like Jesus lives, even if it turned out I was wrong, that is a lot more admirable than how I would live if I didn't try and emulate him. Like, who goes, don't you just hate people who are so selfless? Nobody says that. And I was like, the thing I love most about my mates is they're just so greedy and selfish. Like, no one thinks that.
I have mates that say to me, God must hate you.
Yeah. Well, people, same with Jade. Like, what did she do? Yeah, like, what did she do? That's like, right, wheelchair. Like,
that kind of, it's that kind of, karma sort of stuff, you know? Yeah. No, it's interesting, isn't it? Sorry.
So talk to us about the social media stuff then, John. Like, that was just, how did that in some ways, I guess if you're talking about purpose and life and that, and then God's in control, then that is, for that to, to go from a start to like over 1 million followers, like, does that feel like God's been part of that process? Talk us through what happened.
Yeah, like I moved up to Preston to work for a church, and it wasn't like it was a bit of a leap of faith, because like I was just used to hanging around with a load of Tories, So like coming up here, it's like, what? No, I'm not a Tory. Alan.
He's not convinced now. Look at him. He's fuming.
You can say it as much as you want. Just say nugget.
But I think like it was a bit of a leap of faith of like coming up and like fresh start again and everything like that. And then I'd always, throughout my whole like working for a church, I'd always loved hanging out with like the youth and like the young adults or just anyone really. I'm quite a people person, like, and I'd hated the admin and like prepping stuff. And there were some things that were interesting, but I just always really struggled with it. And I think I'd always just put it down to like, you leave uni and you've got to grow up a bit. Like, you can't just sleep in till midday and only do the things that you enjoy. Like, and so
you've got to get up at 11 for church at least, haven't you?
Exactly.
10:30, quick shower, down the church.
Exactly. So I think I thought like, basically any admin struggles I'd always had, I'd put down to like a character issue or being immature or whatever. And then having moved up here and finding that it was the third church I'd worked for where a similar frustrations were arising within the team towards me of like, you're great with this, like really good, and we love you, like we do care about you, but this stuff, like, and I was like,
this is like Alan's life story, this.
I was like, and like, I was just like, why is everyone always getting at me? Like, but it's that thing of like, if you know, like I don't know.
It's a pastor's job going in our church at the moment, if you want. They're used to this.
Like, when it gets to the stage where if you think everyone else is an idiot, probably you're the idiot. Do you know what I mean? Like, and it wasn't that I felt that, but just in that area, I was like, why are people always like, why do they not see, like, I'm quite good at whatever? And anyway, having moved up here, like, I realised my wife sent me a few reels of like symptoms of ADHD, and I was like, I haven't got ADHD. Like, that's growing up. I was like, that's the naughty kids that like throw chairs at teachers, and then they're like, it's not my fault, sir, it's my ADHD. Like, and I was like, I was always quite a good boy at school. Like, so I was like, I haven't got ADHD. And I was like looking through some of the reels, and again, I was like, this is everybody. Like, this is doing my head in. Like, who doesn't feel a bit like this sometimes? And then I was chatting to Jade about it, and she was like, well, it's not me at all. Like, most of these, actually, I'd say I really don't relate to. And I was like, that's interesting. So going back to how I think God's like been there, like I'd already started doing TikTok and was really enjoying it, but it was relatively straightforward. Like, I'd done bits of stand up like with you and things, Alan, like back in the day and stuff. I hadn't done as much like as you'd done, but like I'd gone to a few like writing retreats that we met on and things, and I'd always really enjoyed it, but had struggled a little bit to have the time to do it in the evenings when I was doing youth work and all that kind of stuff. And I'd always enjoyed it, but TikTok was really easy to share your thoughts, at least, like, because I was like, oh, I think that's quite a funny story. That's quite a good idea. And it was just an instant, I've done it now. Like, rather than thinking, how do I craft? And obviously you put a bit of work into, I could tell it like that or whatever. But like some of that stuff, I'd always found myself on some of the writing retreats, actually, like some of the guys were big there on, are you a performer who writes or are you a writer who performs? Like, and you'll know comedians, like the ones who are quick-witted are normally they're performers anyway. And then they write so that they don't get up on stage literally with nothing. Versus the ones, maybe people more like Rowan Atkinson or people who are a bit more like introverted, like good writers, and they are good performers, but they maybe it's a bad example, but you know what I mean? There are some people who are just amazing writers and they're not even the best performers, but their material is so good. I'm definitely the performer who writes. And so I found that with TikTok, like something funny happened with my kids, or there was a moment and I was just like, oh, I might share that quickly. And that started to go quite well alongside like doing youth work and things. And then when I realized I did have ADHD and I was signed off at the time because I was just burnt out, and I think ADHD can cause that a bit more frequently and intensely than if you don't have it. It all kind of came together where I thought, like, I think it's probably time to step back from ministry. Even though I love it, I still volunteer, but now I can, all the stuff that I frustrate people with, I can be like, that's someone else's job. And the stuff that I'm all right at, just like going around and like hanging out with the youth and having fun and maybe doing a bit of teaching or whatever, like I can just do that stuff. And no one can even get, the bane of my life for a while was, and I've had some incredible volunteers over the years, but it's a very different game being a volunteer to being employed by the church. Like there aren't that many. The worst case scenario, if you have to have a tough conversation with a volunteer, like you only really do it, I found, is when you decide, if they go, okay, I'm not doing it, then you go, yeah, okay, cool. Like we're fine with that as well. Like if you really need a volunteer to stay because they are good, even if they do some things that annoy you, you're like, okay, I've got this conversation, but I can't have it too strongly because I don't want them to step back. Whereas when you're employed by the church, there's an element of being a good steward of God's money and being like, no, this is nonsense. You got up your game, mate. And so being a volunteer now is like, wow, it's great. Like I've got some of the experience that I had, but it's just a lot easier. And you don't have all the stuff that I don't enjoy doing. And yeah, then I can just do social media stuff. And yeah, leap of faith, definitely, because at the time, like I had the odd month where it was matching my salary through like videos or the odd brand deal or whatever, to the point where I was like, whoa, that's nice. Like I probably spend 10 minutes a day doing like TikTok versus like 8 hours a day or whatever in the office. But then like, but some months you were like, it was nothing, like you didn't really earn anything much and things. And it's still a little bit like that. You can have some months where you're like, whoa, if you did this every month, then flip, you'd be doing really well. And then suddenly you earn 3 months salary in 1 month and then nothing for 2 months, and it balances out. Like, but yeah, like I just thought we'd go for it, and it was definitely the right call. It allowed the church to employ somebody else. And have someone who's a bit more of a stable member of the team. Yeah, exactly.
Someone who can do admin.
Yeah, exactly.
And get you to do all the youth work.
Yeah.
For free.
Yeah. And then, I could just do sort of funny stories. And also we were writing the book, like we'd had that kind of green-lit, don't know the phrase, but we'd had that okayed. And so then I realised, okay, that's going to be work as well. So there were a few projects coming up where I was like, actually, to add more stuff when I'm already struggling a little bit to manage things. So yeah, I think God was like really in it. And so far there's been, like again, there's the ups and downs of it, but he's definitely provided, and it's been really, really fun. Like,
what's been the best brand deal you've got? Was it the boat, the cruise?
Yeah. Virgin Voyages were doing like cruises for a few content creators and things. And like, I remember it was really last minute as well. They were like, we
never got the call, Tom.
No,
we got binned off by Race Around the World as well. Still got issues with that.
It's on now. I'm missing it.
Yeah. I've never watched it since.
Yeah. Speed this up a bit.
Yeah, I'll wrap this up. Sorry, guys.
I want to see where Kelly Brook is.
But so they'd reached out. I just remember hearing like in April, like every like Thursday in May, there's a new one going. Like, can you do it? And it was like, like it was suddenly like, okay, childcare, and we had to go to Barcelona. You had to pay for your flights and travel insurance and a few bits, but the cruise itself was free. And so I was like, this is just too good an opportunity to like not do if we can do it. But equally, like you're dependent on other people. Like if like Jade's mum, who was living nearby, and dad at the time, if they were like, look, we just can't, like we're doing this or that. So you're just really hoping that it comes together. But no, it did, and it was brilliant. Like, and also for Jade, it was really good because flying with a wheelchair is a nightmare. Like the aisle chair. I mean, if like anyone, I won't go into it now because like you could talk about it all day. But if you just search on TikTok or Instagram like wheelchair user flight drama or whatever, you'll find 50, 100, 200 disabled content creators telling their story about how tough it is to fly. Airlines, you losing your chair, breaking your chair, whatever. So being able to go like we did, it was like Barcelona, Ibiza, although we didn't do that because we're in our 30s. Like we did the like scenic bit. We're like, I'm not doing the nightlife. Like I'm just too old for that. I'm a dad. Like it's embarrassing. But it was really nice. Basically, we got to see a few cities, but you didn't have to worry about like flying anywhere. So like you've got fun stuff. So yeah, I mean, they're not paying me anymore, but I would recommend one. Like I would if I could afford to, I would genuinely pay to do one again. And you can't always say that about every brand deal, but it was really good. Like yeah, so that's probably the best one. Yeah.
You don't need to recommend. I mean, Alan will go.
Anyway,
you don't need the recommendation.
Yeah,
I don't
He's
care.
gone.
I'll pay myself.
Yeah,
it's fine.
No, it was really good, and the food was really
they'll
good.
take my money. Don't you worry about it.
Yeah.
And I'm going to max that credit card out before I go, son. I'll teach them to give me a 15 grand limit. You weren't thinking that one through, were you? Barclays. There's some product placement for you.
They give us money to stop talking about them.
Can you stop giving everyone loopholes?
We're going to try something new now, aren't we? Because
We are.
We're
I
coming
just say
near the end.
Chaz has woken up
Chaz
in
has woke up,
Australia.
has he
He's
now?
in.
Has he?
I've missed Tom's infectious laugh. Doesn't mention you at all.
I think he fancies you.
Would be very
likes your
wise
skin,
decision. A very smiley fella. And we've got all sorts. But Crumpet Barbara's in
Ah,
tonight.
Crumpet Barbara.
Hello, Crumpet.
Hello, Barb.
Nice to
How
see
are you
you.
doing? Right?
She can't talk back.
She
Well,
can write.
let us know in the comments.
She
It's
can
great.
write back.
Oh, it's good. This is like a reunion, isn't it? It's nice. It's like getting back
It's
to.
like the best reunion because you don't have to actually see them, do you? Like go school reunions and it's like, oh, like you've aged a bit, haven't you? Put a bit of weight on.
I don't think you're supposed to say that to people.
You don't say it to them.
Oh, right,
That's that voice in my head again, Tom. Come on.
And it just stares in silence.
I didn't even recognise you. We've got two heads now. What's going on? Got a small head, which is your face, and a big fat one. I was looking in a mirror.
I don't think you can do this now that you've got no filter. You were bad enough before.
Well, there
We're
you
going to
go.
do a game, aren't we?
We're going to do. Well, it's not a game. We're going to do Room 101.
Nice.
Right, and we've kind of prepped you for this, so
Yeah.
you are ready for it. And so we asked you to come with 3 things that you'd put in Room 101 and why.
How does that work?
Yeah.
Just for people at home.
You tell them. It's your idea.
I have swapped one of them,
You
Swap one. Oh,
but other than that, 2 out of 3 are exactly the same as
Okay.
I
Okay.
tried with.
well, you tell them
He
what
had
it
some
is.
really funny jokes about some of the things he'd written down. He told me about them ahead of
And
time.
it'll be the one he swapped, won't it? It'll definitely be the one he swapped.
I can do 4 if you want.
No, it's okay.
They weren't that funny.
I think we know that, don't we?
So Room 101, basically, John will suggest things that he thinks
Yeah,
should no longer exist.
yeah.
So, and then we decide, the royal
The
we,
people can
we'll let
decide,
people
can't
at
they?
home
Yeah, yeah.
and us,
And
if
us,
it goes into Room 101. So give us 3 things.
Yeah.
And so go for it, John. What are you
Yeah.
thinking first of all?
So my first one is birthday cards.
Birthday
I
cards.
just think they're awful. Now, I'm not talking about the people who write a genuinely nice message. Like, so if you haven't heard from them from a while, they're like, I hope you've had a lovely day, whatever, fine. It's because 99% of birthday cards are, Dear John, then the message that the card itself has in it, and then they just put like, love from grandma.
I mean, I'm not going to lie. That's me to a T.
Yeah, and that's fine. But
That's what I do.
But what I would say is, what's the average card cost? £1 at least. Like even if you go to the card factory, it's probably at least £1.
Thereabouts.
Maybe £2.50 if you like. if it's
89p home
special.
bargain.
Yeah, sure.
That's what I was thinking straight away.
I'm thinking, how many birthday cards do you get?
That too.
Who wouldn't rather have the £1.78? But even if it's
Quick
even if you get 5 or 10 or whatever, and they have spent like, because sometimes my grandma, I'm like, this is like, it's got like texture on it. She's definitely spent like £2.50 on this.
Yeah.
And then she's put a £5 in it. I'm like, I'd rather have £7.50. like I don't. It just goes in the recycling bin. What you're doing is you are wasting your time going to a shop, wasting your money in a shop, wasting your time writing it. I know, like,
And putting a stamp on it and
Putting a
all
stamp
that.
on it.
Walking to the post box, all that.
yeah, and then I've got to recycle it in like a day or two. Like I put them up for
How
5
long
minutes.
do you have to have it up for? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You
I
know
don't
what you need to do, John? You need to teach your nan how to use Facebook.
Yeah, that's what I prefer.
Just a
Facebook.
nice little birthday message, and you can just say, thanks
Exactly.
everyone who gave it to me.
Exactly, and then
Know what I
whack,
mean?
and then whack an extra quid on. Or if that looks like I'm money grabbing, she can just keep the quid if she wants. But
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
I've genuinely, it saved me time. Like I just think they're rubbish.
Do you know what my problem with this though is? I think essentially, I think children are right in that the birthday card is essentially the vessel that carries the money.
Yes.
So that's what they do.
yeah.
That's
Yeah.
what they do. They always basically that is its purpose.
Yeah, because on
Yeah.
Facebook, you've got to do a fundraiser for something else, haven't you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Alan Finnegan's Cancer
That's
Journey.
it. That's it.
Everyone,
Treatment not available on the NHS.
but that's what I do. You know, when some people are like, I'm fundraising instead of like
Yeah.
having birthday presents this
Yeah.
year. I won't go that far, but I'll say instead of having birthday cards.
Yeah.
They can whack it in your fund.
I still want the present.
Yeah.
Give the 89p to Alan. Bless him.
Yeah, exactly. Like, and the same with Christmas cards.
Let's
We
see
have a
what
thing-
Jesus can do with 89p. eh?
Get the lad a pack of aspirin. That'll take the edge
Can't have
off.
aspirin. Can't have aspirin. Thins your
not?
blood.
But the
No
same,
good
same
when
with
you're having
Christmas
enough.
cards. Christmas cards at like church, especially like people. Everyone's got
Yeah,
their
yeah, we
pigeonholes
don't do
out.
that
Everyone's just
anymore.
putting them in, and it's just sometimes it doesn't even have your name in it. It's just got love from, and they've put your name on the envelope, and they've just got like love Gladys or whatever, and it's just whacked in your
Yeah.
thing.
That's I
Who
find
is
that
Gladys?
tricky.
Yeah.
I find that when they've not even written your name on it, that's
Yeah.
taking it to another level. They've not even got written to Tom. It's three letters.
We
Tom.
get that from the neighbours. The neighbours, they don't know our name.
Tim.
They don't know.
They've
their
just
name.
put like, this isn't my house address, because
Yeah.
some people are weird, but like.
Number 85.
Yeah, exactly. Number 85 on the thing. And then inside, they've not put your name because they don't know it. They never
Yeah.
talk to you. And they've
Yeah.
just put love from so-and-so
No,
in brackets
84.
and number 8. Yeah, exactly. That was the point. Like, why are we
Picture
thinking
John
this?
shouting at his neighbours like, "Just give me the money!" Number 32.
Christmas cards are tea in it as well.
I'm just waiting at my
I want
letterbox.
£1.23.
Second it comes through a letterbox, I'm like, hang on, don't go anywhere.
Yeah.
You can take this back. I end up recycling it.
Well, what do we think of that then? What do you think, Jack?
I don't know, because I grew up as a new.
You're
John,
not just listening to your phone there, are you, with headphones
no,
on?
I haven't.
You were genuinely listening to us here, yeah?
he's into episode 2 of The Boys.
It was good, this, actually. I would recommend.
I don't know. What do you think? I'll let you decide. Because
I think, yeah, Christmas birthday
you're
cards.
the Grinch, though, as well.
I am the
You
Grinch.
are a Grinch.
I hate buying cards for anyone.
All right.
Like, I only buy them for my wife. I don't even buy me ma one.
So you don't buy your mother a birthday
No.
card? And you surprise?
I-
You don't surprise me.
Well,
You don't
why are
surprise
you
me.
looking like that?
All right. So you're putting
Joyce buys
birthday.
them for me. Puts my name on them.
You're putting birthday
Your
cards
ma's watching this
in
probably
room
as well.
101.
I'm putting
And so
birthday
now
cards
it'll
in
just
room
be
101.
people walking up to people, giving them money for their birthday.
I tell you
That's
what.
how that's going to
That's
go.
going to change the world, that,
Yeah.
John.
It's all right, isn't it? Saves
Yeah.
the planet, probably, as well.
Yeah, yeah.
But also, then I feel like you got your £5 nan and you got your £10 nan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Or your
I've
least
got no
favourite and your
nans.
yeah,
favourite.
that's it. So,
I've got no nans.
yeah, it's true. Didn't she leave you all that money when she died?
No. None of them.
All right, birthday cards, but
Ian.
I'm keeping Christmas cards.
You're keeping Christmas cards. I think they're worse. You should get more
people,
of them.
people have said yes.
What,
Room
get
at
rid of them?
101. Yeah.
I agree.
People are on
Well
board
done.
with you here, John.
I agree, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Waste of money. All
They're
right.
going in. Room
One for
101.
one.
Good
What's-
work, guys.
What's the next
Whatever
one?
it is.
Is that how it works?
Yeah, he does that. Ding, and it falls in. Yeah. But anyway, we haven't got one of them, so I'll just make it. Ding.
So you stop doing that.
Ding.
All
Go
right.
on. What's the next one then, John?
Go on,
The
John.
next one is people who sat, and this is quite specific to me, probably, because I hear it a lot and
Yeah,
it's
change the
winding me up.
one.
But like,
Anyway.
it's especially as a content creator, you get the comments of like, "That's not funny." So it's people who say that's not funny, or "Was this supposed to be funny?" or whatever. And
Tom, that was his comments on your video.
who are we having on?
That's not funny.
He locked his wife on the veranda for ages.
I thought it was an instructional video.
Yeah, it's like, right, I've got to go with a wife in a wheelchair, and then I've got to put... But I think like, so for me, it's the arrogance of that, because like if people put that now, if they say that's not funny, I usually just reply like, to you, and like that's fine. Like, you're okay.
Yeah,
If someone says, I don't find that funny, cool. I mean, most of the time I'm like, well, I didn't ask. Like, I didn't film that specifically for you. I didn't send you this. Like, that's not funny. As if I've gone, you'll love this, and I've DM'd them it. And then they're like, well, you misjudged me. I hate this kind of stuff. It's like, it just happened to be there. It's like looking at a menu in a restaurant and being like, or someone asking someone the specials and them going, there's this, 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 and this.
Don't like any of them.
Yeah, and you going, well, I hate haddock. It's like, oh, I don't care. You have something else there. You keep scroll down the menu until you find something you do like. And so that it's the that's not funny thing when.
I feel like you get that a lot, John. Do you
Yeah,
get that?
also, it's my most,
This is like a real.
I've had to block the word funny.
This is a real wound for you.
Yeah, I've had to block the word funny.
At
because
least you didn't get, he wears his daughter's clothes.
Yeah.
Which is what I got.
From who?
Someone's got some stuff. Someone wrote he wears his
Did they?
sister's clothes or something like
Oh,
that.
my word.
I don't even know what was going on.
Yeah, so people
I bet he
sometimes.
was fuming.
But yeah, like it's that weird thing like that you think I've asked that, and some people are like, yeah, but if you put it out there again, like you're asking for those kind of comments or whatever, and they're like, yeah, but again, I'd go back to the menu thing where it's like, well, if you list that as something that you're gonna cook, then you've got to expect me to say how much I think it's rubbish. Like, it doesn't make any sense.
I'm totally on board for this.
Yeah. I'm on board
I am totally on board for it. I think those people, if you don't find it funny,
Just don't watch it.
move on by, like
Yeah.
you say.
Yeah, switch
Yeah.
over.
Like me, I just boom.
Yeah.
gone.
Because it's all like,
Bye, John.
Block delete. Block delete.
yeah, because also that's the thing. Like, I find there are some people. I sent you guys earlier before we went on. There's some people who I just think, how have you got that many followers? But I'm not arrogant enough to think that only things I find funny are funny. Like, I think Jimmy Carr says, if you find me funny, you're right. If you don't find me funny, you're right.
Yeah.
And it's like, that's true. It's like that's
Yeah.
that's the whole beauty of opinion. So I think it's never when people say, I don't really find this funny. I'd still say, you didn't need to tell me. Cheers. Like, but yeah, the people who act like their opinion is fact, basically, particularly in an area where it's just such a diverse opinion. Like,
But I bet they love when you respond. I bet
Yeah.
there's something in that where they're
Yeah.
like,
You want
this
it to.
is what I wanted.
there is that definitely with some, but again, and sometimes I'm like, oh, should I not feed it? But then the other part of me is like, the more comments on my videos, the better. So,
Yeah.
like,
More dough, more dough.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
get the same people saying it's not funny. So
Oh.
they've seen it once and
Yeah.
they see it again and they see it again and because I had one
Sometimes.
that done that on everything I posted.
really,
Yeah,
just kept going.
just everything.
Yeah, like obsessed.
Well, like stalking you almost.
Yeah,
Yeah,
on Twitter or X as it's called now.
yeah.
Yeah, it's like me, X.
Yeah, I do. I do have a few people. If I do a live, there's a few people that will join. There's someone called Jules who joins, and she's obsessed with the idea. Like, so I'll talk about like. So my wife and I have co-written the book, and whenever the book comes up, if people are like, "Oh, when is the book out?" or whatever, I'll deliberately go, "What my book? All about my wife's life story." Like, clearly joking, and every time she'll be like, "Well, it's more about your wife." Like, I know she's not joking.
Yeah,
Like, she's like. I
Just
really
can't get
can't
it, yeah.
stand how arrogant this guy is, because everything, even his wife's stories he makes about him, and I'm like, "You're not joking." Like, I'll be
You
like,
narcissist.
yeah. Sometimes I'll literally. The danger of irony is not everyone will get it,
Yeah.
and then you can't necessarily backtrack from that because people are like, well, that just makes it look like you weren't really joking, and now you've been caught. So I'll sometimes think, well, I've got to become more ironic then, so they can't possibly think I'm not joking. So I'll be like, well, if there's anyone better positioned to tell my wife's story, it's probably me, her husband, who can walk. Like, it'll be that obvious, and people will still be like, this person especially will still be like, no, it should be your wife. And you're like, oh, for goodness sake. So yeah, I think
I think straight away, let's put Jules in 101. Get rid of her.
Yeah, Jules.
Now you've given her a name. I'm
now we've named
super
her.
keen to get rid
And you
of her.
share a link for their page.
yeah,
we'll
she's
do it.
at Jules. No, I don't even know.
Jules.
So I'm happy. We don't
Yeah.
even need to discuss that one.
That one's done.
If you're writing those comments,
Yeah. There's no point, is there? There's no point in doing it.
I've not-
What
yeah.
you want, like? What
yeah,
you want?
what are you hoping's going to happen
Anyway,
from this
yeah,
interaction?
No.
I'd love a few of them though.
You'd love a few.
A
what?
few like people saying you're not
Interaction.
funny, like just like.
What do you mean you don't get people saying you're
Oh,
not
it's been
funny?
nice to have a bit of attention now. Isn't it?
Try saying something funny then and we'll see.
And the last one.
Last one,
John.
yeah.
Oh, so this is the one that I might have changed.
Yeah.
I mean, I
Think
can
you
give you both options, and I could always let you decide which one we unpack if you want. So one of them was going to be the people who say, I hate children. The other one was going to be cleaning products that you have to clean. So like your dishwasher. So I realised that when I got to a certain age, I was like, I've got to clean this. Its whole job is to clean stuff, and now I've got to clean it.
It doesn't clean itself.
Yeah.
I would get rid of the
chat either.
dishwasher. I would we can do both, but like I would get rid of the dishwasher because that's actually my job in the house.
Yeah.
So I feel like if Emma's thinking
get
about
rid of
getting a
it.
dishwasher, she's thinking of getting rid of me because she's like if
Because you haven't got a dishwasher.
we haven't got one. So if she brings
Why
one of
not?
them in, I'm basically thinking this
It's
is
not
over now.
1974 still, you know. What's the matter with you?
I would think that basically what else?
Get a dishwasher, then you can argue about who's
No.
emptying it.
Yeah.
You can
But
do
same-
that thing where you open it and go, oh no, it's clean.
Yeah.
Shut it again.
Same with like.
I didn't notice it.
It's been like 3 days. Like same though, we've run out of plates. Same with like the Hoover though. Like suddenly it's like stopped working, and I was like,
It's tangled, so you've
yeah,
got to
I've
clean
got to unclean, or even like the filters. Like I've now got to clean like the filter of it. Like that was something I was like, surely I shouldn't be having to clean products whose job is to clean.
I think that's good.
I think that's
And I
good.
also think if we got one of those products, I don't know what I bring to my marriage anymore.
The
So I
problem
think
with it
it's
is,
fine.
you put them in room 101. Do we suddenly have to start picking stuff up off the floor? We haven't got Hoovers anymore. Or are we saying invent a self-cleaning Hoover?
Yeah.
Curry up Bezos or whoever.
Yeah, come on.
Yeah.
Come on, Dyson.
That's true, innit?
Yeah.
No, we can't put those
You
in.
can't put them in.
Let's do
yeah.
the kids. Let's do the kids.
Let's get rid of the toe. Okay, this one is one where I'm
Go on.
like,
Because also Alan had some jokes for this.
No, I haven't. I haven't got jokes.
this is one
I've just got an opposite opinion.
I'm fully aware. So even as a dad, my kids do my nutting sometimes. So I totally get it. I think the weird thing about it is, it's like, if it feels like for me, like it's like Caitlyn Jenner saying she hates men, or like Michael Jackson saying he doesn't like black people. It's like, you used to be one. Like, how can you hate kids? Like, you literally like.
That's why I hate them. Because I used to be one, and I know now what an annoying little. Can't say that next word. I was.
Yeah, I think though. So I think it depends. Like, I think I'm talking specifically small kids. Okay, so
Kids are horrible.
yeah. So here's where some of it came from. My daughter, I was going to buy a chameleon recently. This video got like 19 million, so I've not heard the end of it. I was going to buy a chameleon. I hadn't asked my wife. I had this idea. I thought it's just great. It'll be my pet. I'll look after it. It'll be fine. Went into a shop. The guy was like, "Oh, does she want to hold it if you're like going to get it?" And I was like, "Oh, it sort of already happened almost." I was like, "Oh," and she was like, "Yeah." And so she's holding this chameleon. She's 5. Starts crawling up her arm. Suddenly she doesn't like it. And she's like, "Oh, no, and she goes to give it back to the guy, and he doesn't take it. And then she has a reflex reaction where she goes, "Oh," and she literally throws it over her shoulder. It was fine. And I put the video up. Now, I made a mistake in the video. I thought it would be more obvious that it was a joke. So I show that bit, and then I show me saying, basically, I then bought it out of guilt, as in like the whole, like, you break it, you buy it logic, which I didn't. I was already going to buy it, but I felt even more so like, I can't be like, sorry, can we actually have the other one? Right now she's thrown it. You know, you
That one's
break
got a gammy leg.
Yeah, exactly. This one's looking a bit ill, actually.
Got a bit flat.
Yeah, it's supposed to be black.
It's got slolly marks on it.
Yeah, so I was like, okay, like, so that was a little bit my fault. But again, when a video goes that big, like, just amount of people like just hate kids or whatever, like, and for me in that video, I was like, look, she's 5. Like, blame me, maybe blame the pet shop guy for giving it to her, but she even tries to give it back nicely. And so I think it's that, like, and probably you can get too niche with these things and you can clarify them a little bit too much. It's probably the specific situation is probably 14-year-old girls who say they hate kids. And you're like, you are one still, basically. Yeah. But also, you've got no experience of them. If you've had kids and you've now done with that, and you're a grandparent and you're like, it's flipping hard work, and I remember how hard work it is, and now I'm done with my kid-free life. I get that's fine. Like, it's the people who have never had them or are judging like really small kids, like being out and about and like there's a baby crying on a plane and you're like, you shut your kid up.
Most annoying thing ever.
Most annoying thing ever, but you also like, you just can't, what are you supposed to do?
Exactly. I get it. I do get it.
I get what you're saying, but I still hate kids. So you're saying you're putting me in 101. That's what you're saying.
It sounds more attractive
Which
all
is
the
better
time.
than hell, I suppose. But
To be fair, you're in there with people without a sense of humour. And what was the first one?
Birthday cards.
Birthday cards.
Christmas
cards.
Actually, I retract that. I don't want Alan to go.
Imagine
not
how
fair on him.
miserable he'd be.
He's just there
Loads of birthday cards.
looking for a load of Christmas cards, livid.
Moaners. Big boss. No. Kids.
Right.
Oh, dear me.
Is that we're coming to the end of the night now, John?
Nice.
But what we
Did
do?
we put that in 101? No.
No,
No, I think that's fair.
no.
Okay.
2 out of 3 though.
Oh, that's not
Yeah.
bad.
Yeah,
I,
so
I
I'll
think
take
that's a
that.
good. That's a good.
Yeah.
Right. What we do every week, John.
Mm.
And we
is
haven't done it for 9 months, John.
every
so
week
no
apart
pressure.
from the last 9 months. Is basically everyone who comes to our bar, we give them a chance to become lifetime members of the bar,
Nice.
and so they go on our Hall of Fame here.
Nice.
There's some good names
I'm
up
just
there, aren't
loving.
there?
Did we ever put Jack's name on it?
No, we've not decided yet, have we?
Have we
On
not
Jack?
decided? He
Not
comes
decided.
every week. He comes every
Oh.
week. So
He's
is he
still-
just a guest pass
I
for
don't-
now?
Yeah, he's
Right,
got.
okay.
You can't.
You've got to come in with a member
He's got to prove
and
it.
pay a
yeah,
pound,
You do.
like you do in the supporters club. Okay.
You're not allowed in after 9:30.
I gotta leave soon.
And so basically, if you tell a story and our discerning members love it, then we
Get him on the wall.
we'll get you
lad.
on the wall.
Get you on the wall, lad.
Nice.
You go up on the wall. But if it's a bad one and people don't, you're barred.
You're bad, lad.
You're
Fair.
barred. So you
Got to
get.
leave instantly.
You got
You
to
have
go.
to leave.
hard
You have
end.
to go.
Jack throws you out. He's the doorman as well.
Yeah, on the box.
Scruff of the neck.
Yeah. Get you. That'll be a TikTok video for you. Throwing
Time I
out to
went up, I
Finnegans.
got barred from a podcast.
So we'll hand over to you, John, for your
Yeah.
story.
Nice. So, when my wife was expecting our firstborn, given that she's a wheelchair user, she had to go into hospital early. So, around the 26-week mark, they were like, look, around the 36-week mark, they were like, look, she should probably come in early just to make sure. So, basically, it's random, but your body can still go into labour at any point, and even people in comas have given birth naturally. So they were like, we want to be careful, because Jade has rods in her spine, and her pelvis can't move. So they were like, it's not safe for her to have a natural birth. Going to have a cesarean. We don't want to do it too soon. So she was basically going to be in hospital for about 2 weeks while they were monitoring her, and then on the 38th week she's going to have a cesarean. So during the weekend I went in and stayed with her. So she, I'm not a Tory, it wasn't private, okay, it was NHS, but...
You got it on a brand deal.
Yeah. I was like, what sort of midwife deals do you do? You've got maternity unit. But at the Stoke Mandeville, it's like a specialist hospital for people in wheelchairs, and they've got a maternity unit. So basically, Jade had her own room in there, so it's like really nice. And I was in the corner, like on a Z bed. She had the main bed, which I did think was selfish. Do you know what I mean? But I was on a little Z bed for like a couple of nights. Now, the bathroom, it had like an ensuite thing, but there was no door, because I think that as some wheelchair users, obviously mobility wise and also being pregnant, she wasn't able to. She could get in and out of her chair, but there was also this like big like pulley system, and there was like almost like runners on the ceiling, so you could put her in
Zip
like
line.
Yeah, basically, yeah, like a zip line into the bathroom.
I need a poo.
Yeah. Down the thing. So, right. But so there was like this, yeah, almost like a zip line thing, like into the bathroom. And because of that, they couldn't have a door, because it was basically this set of curtains. Now, the curtains didn't close in the middle so that you could still get through. Now, I was there staying the night, and I had to wash too. So it felt awkward, because like there was a bath and there was a shower and a toilet in there, but whenever you needed the loo, I was just going to the other toilet, because if anyone came in, it was sort of like the curtains, it wasn't a really big gap, but it's still like a few feet. Like if anyone came in, I was like just sat on the loo or whatever, like, and people are doing like Jay's observations. Anyway, we didn't have a bath at home. We had to convert like the bathroom into like a wet room for Jade, because there wasn't enough space. And because there was a bath in there, I was like, oh, I really want to have a bath. And Jade was like, don't have a bath. Now, the shower was round the corner, so I could have had quite a private shower. Like, you've got the curtain, you go in, it's quite a big room. The shower's out of view, but the bath was literally slap bang in the middle of it. And I was saying to Jade, look, when do you think they won't come in? Like, about 2 p.m, I was like, I really want to have a bath tonight. She's like, don't have a bath. Got to like 5 p.m. I was like, do you reckon anyone's gonna like? Oh, surely I could have a bath. She was like, don't have a bath. It got to 8 p.m. I was in the bath, and like, it was amazing. Like, I was sitting there. I don't know where I had the idea.
I don't know where I got the candles from. I
don't know
whale music.
I don't know where I had the idea that they'd clock off. Like, there was no, like, I don't know why I thought that they were less likely to come in at 8 p.m. than lunchtime. Like, at any time they could
Because
just...
they're consultants, they go home at 5.
Yeah, but even like the midwives or the nurses or whatever. So, but I was like, this seems like, I guess in my head, I was like, if anyone does come in, 8 p.m. feels like a socially acceptable time to have a bath. Rather than like just at lunchtime. Like, what are you doing in here? Like, anyway, so I was in the bath, and as I was sitting there, like I was just chilling. At one point, the lights in the bathroom went off. And it was like a motion sensor thing, and I was like, "Oh no!" But actually, if anything, it like just added to the mood because the light, the lighting was still coming in from like the main room through the gap in the curtain. There was still light coming in, so it wasn't like I was absolutely pitch black. It just added to the mood. I was like, "This is lovely." Anyway, no sooner like the light had been off like a minute, 2 minutes, and a consultant or like midwife or nurse, somebody came in, and I was like.
Don't move.
Because I was suddenly like, and I was like, I don't want her to see me. And I looked over, and like, she was, after about 30 seconds or so, I was like, hang on a minute. She can't actually see me because the light, I can see her because I'm looking into the light, but she's looking into that. She can't actually see me. So I was like, oh, this is fine. But then I was like, actually one move and the light will come back on. And then suddenly, like, the only thing weirder than a man suddenly, like, having a bath in the dark is a man who was in the dark suddenly being like, you're right. Like, so I like didn't move at all.
Have
like,
you got any leeches for this?
Exactly. Like. Anyway, thankfully the light didn't come back on. Totally like still. The lady went out. Jade was like, because she didn't know whether to reference it as well. My wife was there, like, do I say like? And what if they're like, where's your husband? So she was like, I'm just not going to say anything. She left, and Jade was like, I don't think she could see you. And I was like, no, I don't think she could either. But as I sat up, like the light came back on, I was like, no amount of Radox is going to bring back the relaxation now. I was like, I got rid of my Father Christmas beard and everything, like I've made out of the bubbles. I was like washing my hair quickly, getting ready to go out, and like getting ready to get out the bath. And then Jade went, oh no. And I was like, what? Like, if you... Like, it's, like at first I was like nervous. I was like if your water's broke, like is everything okay? Like, she was like, no. I was just trying to change the channel on the TV, and I've just pressed call the midwife button. And so I was like, but initially I was like, what? I still think she did it on purpose. Okay? I still think like she literally was trying to like what.
Mate, you left her on a veranda for 4 hours. What do you expect?
But like, why would she like do that? And the second time, like, I couldn't get out. I was literally just about to get out, and they came in, so I had to like sit back down. So like, suddenly like splash, like, and I was like. But again, so I'm sitting like this because the bath is sideways now. The lights are on, but like I can't make eye contact with her. I can't just be like, and when do you think the cesarean's going to be? So I was like, something like again, completely still, but again, like just glancing, like, and at one point, like I did make eye contact with her, like look over like that, and like she looked over at me, like, and then looked straight back down. And I was like, oh, she's definitely seen me. And I didn't know what to say. I couldn't think of anything to say. But she'd definitely seen me. So I just went, I'm just having a bath.
We haven't got one in the house.
Yeah. And that's what I should have said. But I wish I'd said, like, we haven't got a bath at home. Like, but I
haven't had a bath for 4 years, mate. This is heaven.
Because I went like, I'm just having a bath, like as if what was really weird about the situation was a lack of clarity. Like she was like, "Oh, that's what you're."
Okay.
So yeah, and every single person who came in after that, like I don't know if they were smirking. It didn't take the shine off of having a newborn, but she definitely told everyone. Like, the guy in room like 5 is treating this place like a hotel. It's the husband. Like how long until he's like requesting we bath him? Like, yeah, it was not ideal.
Wow.
Very good.
Wow, that is brilliant. Well, let us know. At home, I mean, do you promise no nudity in the bar? That's all I'm.
Always that stipulation, isn't it?
If you're going to be a member of the bar,
unless you're one of our 1,000 followers on YouTube.
We don't have a bath here,
no.
so
you could fulfill the brief for the 1,000 followers.
That's not a bath, John.
Let us know at home. People have enjoyed tonight. Mike says great show tonight. He's enjoyed. Don't try and read it, mate.
I can't see any of the comments. Sorry.
On the wall says Craig. On the wall says Ray. They're keen. Mike on the wall, very good. I think you're going to go on the wall.
Oh,
No,
lovely stuff.
on the wall.
Get him on the wall,
Is
says
it?
Carla and Josh. So have we got a pen here still?
We have 2.
No, I took it off there and I just put it somewhere here.
What did you do
I
that
don't know. Oh, I put it in my pocket. There we go. So
Robbing me pen.
I think John is going to go on the wall.
Yay!
lovely
Where's
stuff.
the
Thank
clapping
you.
emoji?
Makes it all worthwhile.
Number
Yeah.
4 it was
There
on.
we go.
There you go. Hey, I can't hear nothing either, by the way. He didn't give me headphones tonight.
I think I think I'm going to put you on as at John Reynolds
Oh, go for it.
on
yeah.
the wall.
Yeah,
that is
thank
your
you.
handle, hey.
John EJ. I've chucked my initials in there. I think someone else had nicked John Reynolds.
I was going to say that wasn't by
John
preference.
E.J. John
John.
E.J. Reynolds.
Yeah.
All right, I'm going for it.
Nice one. Thank you.
Oh, that's going to fit. I'll have to go lower down. We should have got a bigger wall, shouldn't we?
E.J.
Reynolds.
There we go.
He does it because I can't spell.
And John, tell us for people who want to find you on TikTok
Yeah.
or Instagram or social media,
Yeah.
how can they do that? Just search John Reynolds today. What's the best?
Yeah, probably. Yeah, if you search or at John EJ Reynolds. Yeah, feel free, have a little search. If people enjoy the funny stories and want to know a bit more about my wife and her story, you can find that for pre-order on Amazon. It's called Able to Laugh. If you just search that, you should be able to find it. It's kind of a mixture of her story. There's obviously some deep bits, but lots of like really funny stories similar to that, as well as others that we haven't even told on TikTok and stuff. So if people find us funny and they want a bit of a read as well, they can find that as well.
Fabulous.
Nice.
When's that
for
coming
coming.
out? When's it released?
Mid-October.
And it looks great.
Oh, thanks.
It does.
Yeah,
It's very
thanks very
good.
much.
Yeah, very good.
Fantastic.
I'm not even sure we're doing this next week.
I'm not around next week.
We're not then. We might have a special Desert Island Discs one.
Yeah.
But Softlight
Alan's
can't be bothered editing it. So, any editors out there that'll do it for us. Because this fella's got a new job and can't do anything else.
For free, like,
Yeah.
he ain't going to pay you.
I'll give you the quid.
Yeah.
Saving it off the Bertie card for him.
That's it.
So, 89p. Anyway, should we call time?
Let's call time.
Yeah. Good night.
Thank you for joining us. We will see you again, hopefully soon, for another
Hopefully.
episode of Wednesday Night at Finnegans. Good night. God bless.